Okay, I will continue talking about authorization because I think it's very important subject and I didn't cover it like in a good way. So one of the things that I didn't cover, that when you create a post, I didn't extract the user information and attach it to the data you sent. So now when the end user creates a post, it will have an undefined user ID, which is bad. So we need to handle that. And I will show you a couple of cool things about nest.js. One thing that we can have multiple controllers and each one of them implements a specific routes and they all map to the same entity and they all map to the same route, which is very, very nice. Because in the examples I will show you, I split our route, the post route, the post controller, sorry, to two controllers. One handles the get and authorize the user to only get his posts or her posts, and the second controller which handles the create and update and also delete in a good way. So it will extract the user information and attach it to the data. So yeah, so we know who updated that or who created that post. And another thing, I created a custom guard. So it's called IsOwner. So the name is descriptive enough, but basically it means that you can only update the post that you created, which I will and delete and delete and update the post you created. I will show you all. I already wrote the code because I don't want to waste so much time, and I will show it to you in Vim because VS Code is really heavy and my machine sometimes gets laggy. So I recorded this video a couple of times, and I think Vim is the way to go. But to be honest, I really suck at it. So this is that. So first thing I will show you, I had to go to run some command called nestgenerate gu for guard, and I called it, so inside our source, inside our guards, and it's called IsOwnerGuard. I won't show you the code now because let's go to our but this is something that you need to keep in mind, that I created a guard. I will just show you the posts. So source, posts, and now Vim, post.controller.ts. Okay, so this is how our controller now looks like. So I imported a couple of things. I imported param, request. This represents the express request. Use cars, I already have that. And from the nest.js CRUD, I have all of these options now. The parse body, parse request, the CRUD request, the override. Since to be able to inject to extract the user data and use it in the CRUD utility functions, I need to override them so I can gain all the benefits that they created. At the same time, I can just add my own code, which is very nice. I think this is I really like. This is one of the things that make Next.js very nice. Second thing, these things we already did previous videos. This is a new thing, which is the IsOwnerGuard. I'll show you the code for it, but I already imported it here. And one thing, there is a code in a repository that holds everything I did. So if the way I present the code to you, it's not that clear, you can just go there and try. It's only one branch, so this code should be there when you see this video. So this is something that I changed. So this controller only accepts the create one base, update one base, and delete one base. So, and I need to override them. Or I override these two, and this one did not, because it's the same one as the update. I don't want to waste so much time. These are still the same. And one thing you will notice, I commented the use guard, JWT. I will put it in each one when I override it. Or you can do it here, but I just want to show it to you another way we can add it. But I think a good approach is just to add it here and globally on the whole routes that this controller implements. So this will look a little bit like the docs. I will put a link in the document on how you can override these and use these in here. So I'll put a link in the description. But first thing, to be honest, I didn't get that correctly. I'm not sure why they do that. I think you just maybe for readability, So just to say, hey, I'm using this function from the base, but you didn't need to do that. So basically, because these decorators and the CRUD decorators already added these functions, the create one base and update one base into our class. I think just for readability. Okay, so first thing, decorator override, use the guard JWT, create one. So here I am overriding the same method that is called create one, and here I'm overriding the update one base with a function called update one, so it can be explicit like this. Okay, so I am accepting these things from the request object. So first thing, I am getting the express request to extract the user information. The second thing is the parse request. This is the CRUD request, and this is the parsed body from the CRUD utilities, and this is also the request from the CRUD utilities. Okay, and I will log the user and just like debug information. This is from the request. I have to add as any because this is like a quick solution. I think you can just create an interface and extend this and add the user, but I just like as a quick solution because the TypeScript compiler will complain. And what you need to do, this is the main idea behind all of this thing here. You will not save the body as itself. You need the user ID, and you need to extract that from the JWT. Since we use the JWT guard, the user object will exist inside our express request. So request.user will hold the user that have been decoded from the JWT. And what I need to do, I will spread the properties of the original body in a new object. So it's like a copy. I will put it inside a new object. And the user ID will be the request.user.id. And then you just basically call the create one base. So I'm here just continuing what that function used to do. I am sending the parse request and the new object. So this should work fine. And I think this is, I will skip this for now. I'll return to it. But let me show you another function, another controller that, so quit. So go to and vim PostController.TypeScript. You might hear some background noise, from the coronavirus. People are freaking out. So anyway, in this controller, I am only exposing the get one base and get many base, and it's all the same. I didn't change anything, but here's something different, that I'm using this guard for all of the routes, and I'm adding this guard to only get the data where the user that have been decoded from the JWT. I'm only getting the post that their user ID is equal to the ID of the user that have been decoded from the JWT. So I will make a video on this and what we can do from it, because it's a little bit, there's so much possibility that you can do from using this decorator. But for now, this is basically another controller that maps to the same route, but only uses two functions from the CRUD utilities. And you can spread your logic, logic into multiple controllers, and all of them map to the same route. But should have, you can do that, which is very nice. Except for having a very big controller, which so many routes, you can just split them into like so many controllers, and all of them should be added to the posts module. So let me quit and go to vim post.module module, and as you can see, I have the posts get controller, which is the new one in the controllers as well. So quit. Okay, so first thing we need to do is, let me show you in the database. So I have this user with ID 1. I will log in with it, or with him, whatever. So this user, by the way, have only 3 posts for now. This one I was testing on. So when we, based on our logic in the post get controller, when I go to get, first thing, let me just show you. So if you go to get, I already saved the application and I expose it via ngrok. You don't need to do that, but I did that here for specific reasons. So I have posts, and this I will delete the JWT token. So no token. I'm not authenticated. So let me try to get it. I should have an error which says forbidden for one unauthorized. Sorry. So yeah, unauthorized, which means I need to authenticate myself. So let's go and try to authenticate. So auth. We already did that in the previous video. Post, and it should be email. This, and the password is for all of them is secret. Send. Okay, so we have the information about the user and the JWT, which we need to copy. This is what the front-end developer should do. And now the front-end developer should save it somewhere in the application and put it inside the barrier token, the headers, like this. And now we should go to posts and go to get. The request is get and /post. Now for that user, remember we have only 3 posts. So all the data in the object should be only 3 posts. So the total is 3, count is 3, and only 1 page, which is correct. So this is one kind of authorization. So I'm only getting the data that belongs to me. This behavior that you might want, which is I hope I showed you how to do it, but I hope this was clear. So let me just return and show it to you. So go to, sorry, I'll use vim post get without the TypeScript. So I'm only exposing get one base, get many base, and right now we used get many base, and we are filtering. So using the CRUD Auth decorator, we are filtering only on the post that their user ID property equals the user that have ID that have been decoded from the JWT. And let's try it on a specific like post. It's not get. It won't be the get many base. It will be get one base, since we are passing the ID as a parameter here. So this should work, since this is our ID. This is the post that belongs to this user, so we see it. But if we type something that exists but does not belong to that user, which I know something like this, it's like, for example, 1,100. So it will return. It exists in the database, but it will return 404. And let me just prove it to you. So yeah, we can just remove this. Where p.id. So yeah, this post exists, as you can see, but we can't see it since we are not authorized. Okay, so another thing I can show you, if we go back to, I'll show you the code vim posts controller.typescript. So our create function. So it's very simple. So let's try to test it. So let's go to post, remove the ID, and add title and body, I think. Yeah, body. Okay, I will leave them like this. So send. Now we should, yeah. So they returned a new object for us, represents the new post that have been created with this new ID, and this is the user ID. So our code is successfully do what we wanted. And let's go and talk about update. So first thing, we need the user. We need the user that updated that record, and we need the parameter ID from the request URL, and we need these for the update one base function. Just we need to pass them. Sorry, we need to pass the parse request, but the body we need to merge it with the user ID. I just put it here, and I added some console logs to just validate our code. And as you can see, I think when you run this on your machine, you will just see the log statements are really useful. So okay, let's try to test that. Let's try to test it first for a post. For example, this post, let's try to update that one, and let's try to update post that does not belong to us. Let's see what will happen. So go to that ID and then patch. So just one thing again. I know I already talked about this. This in your case will be localhost 3000, but it doesn't matter. It will work the same way. So okay, so I will update this post. Let's say example 2, and it's for us. So it's for this user. So I will be able to update it. Yes, but let's say I will update a post that does not belong to me. Which should the app be? Which the app should prevent us from doing that. So that post, patch it. We are getting forbidden resource. The resource exists, but you are not allowed to update it. So why is that? As you can see in the use guard, we have the JWT auth guard to authenticate and secure our route, and to allow this requested user to exist here, so we can extract the user ID. And the second guard is IsOwner Guard. So let me show you that. This is just checks if the entity you are trying to update have a user ID equal to the ID of the decoded JWT, then I will allow you to update it. If not, I won't allow it. So this looks a lot like the Angular guards. So IsOwner Guard, the TypeScript. So this is what is that? Oh yeah, okay. Sorry about that. I already opened that here, so I can show it to you. And this is basically wrong. Nope. We close that. Okay, let's open it. This is the correct version. Okay, so basically when I run the command nest.js and I added it inside a folder called guards. So it's called IsOwnerGuard, and it implements the can activate. It looks very similar to the Angular guards. And I'm injecting the service, the post service, and inside of the post service, I made the post repo public. So it was private. This is something to note. And you need to write this function since you implement the can activate. It's called can activate. It's the framework itself will call it and pass to it the execution context. So first thing, we can get the request, the express request like this. So context, switch to HTTP, get request. And this is how we can get the user.user.body. I'm adding the as any. You can create an interface that extends the express request, add the user and body properties there, and just put it as a type here. But I don't want to waste so much time. And now for debugging purposes, this is the params, and you can access it. So when the user goes /post/ the ID, you can get it from this object, request.params. Body is body, user is user. I'm just adding this for debugging purposes. So if I go to the first tab, as you can see, this is it. This is one of the objects that this guard will log. So params, this is the ID, the one that it forbidden us to modify. And this is the body I sent. This is the user that have been decoded, and this is just for debugging, so I know. And I will call a function that is called can_I. I created this one. What I basically do, I will pass the ID of the post and the user ID, and I will get it. So I will get the ID. I will get the post for that ID. So this service.postRepo.find1, and await that. and just log it. So that's why you see here post I found. So I found that post. I will just check if the user ID in that post equal to the user ID I passed, then I will allow it, else I will forbid it. And behind the scene, when you return false from a guard, nestjs will throw the forbidden error. I think that's pretty much it. But one thing that does not make sense to me, do I need to create IsOwner Guard for every entity? So, like for example, comments, likes, and just to check this kind of. I think it's a little bit repetitive. I tried looking to the docs. Maybe I missed something, but I will try. If I made one generic that can work, just like IsOwner generic guard, and it will always check two things that you should pass: the name of the property from the record, the name of the property from the encoded object from the JWT. If these two values are equal, I will return false. I will return true. Else, I will return false. So if I can make a guard that is generic in that way, it will be like it will save a lot of people so much time, and I probably will make a video about it. But in this case, in this code, you need to write this guard for every kind of records, for every kind of entity, which sucks. So I know, like, not showing the structure of the files and everything make this maybe a little bit confusing. But there is a code in GitHub. There's a link in the description. I will also put a link in the description for a couple of things that I talked about. And to be honest, there's so many things in nestjs. I don't think I can cover all of it. But I will try to increase the amount of videos. I will do a couple of videos maybe on authorization a little bit more. One of the things that I need to cover is the Auth Guard decorator. And yeah, I think that's it. I think this is very useful, I think, in some way at least. So quit. And I still suck at Vim, so I'm trying to learn it. Anyway, I hope this was useful in any way. Thank you.